I'll just tell viewers that you focus on regions, Greece, Italy, as well as certain sectors like telecommunications and media. But you have a divergence of investments in Italy, and I saw they finally got their 55 billion euro stimulus package through yesterday. Tell me how that region you think is going after it was so hard hit.
Good morning, Matt. Yes, indeed. It goes without saying that Italy has been one of the countries most severely impacted by this pandemic. And as you know, the European Commission has suggested that Italy's economy may shrink by 10% this year. So it's encouraging to see that the country is beginning to emerge from its lockdown and that this stimulus package indeed has been approved, which will provide very welcome support for businesses and individuals. And it also comes in addition to other support schemes that the government in Italy, as in other countries, have introduced. From our investment experience in Italy, I know that Italian businesses have strong fundamentals and management teams that will help them to rebound strongly. And with some of the openings, store openings or shopping malls or other venues that have been even brought forward in some regions, this will help restart the economy. So it seems to me that Italy is reaching the end of the beginning here.
The end of the beginning. Nikos, good morning to you. So where are you in your thinking at BC Partners? Given, in your view, we're reaching the end of the beginning, is it still all about ensuring liquidity for your portfolio companies, making sure everybody's got the cash and the balance sheet that they need? Or are you thinking about the opportunities that lie ahead?
Good morning, Anna. I think we strongly believe that any activity at the moment, any investment activity has to indeed be balanced very carefully against protecting the assets that we already own. And yes, the absolute priority for us, and I think for most of my peers, is indeed to protect any vulnerable companies in our existing portfolios. The debate that we have is with the 2020 being a very challenging year from an economics perspective, do you invest and how do you invest? Because pricing risk in this environment remains extremely difficult. If, when, and how to invest when all indicators are pointing to a recession this year, and maybe even further, will require a lot of conviction. But we do, at the moment, see some activity. We ourselves and some of our peers are seeing activity in a few areas, and I think that we will see several types of deals be happening. So, for example, you'll see divestitures from large corporates being debated. You have rescue financings, in particular in some industries that have been most severely impacted. For instance, even companies like Virgin Atlantic are looking to raise capital also from private equity firms. You see mergers that can also create opportunities where private equity could be a catalyst, or we can be a capital provider actually to facilitate such mergers. But we also are seeing a growing enthusiasm from PE firms taking minority stakes in businesses. A good example is Silver Lake's recent investment in Airbnb. We're looking at a couple of situations at the moment ourselves. And I think this is a very interesting development for the private equity industry, and is a good example of the kind of opportunities that we can find in today's environments. Historically, pre-crisis, public companies or private businesses wouldn't be looking at private equity for money. But today, with financing very limited, with raising capital in public markets very difficult, private markets and private equity in particular has become a very attractive source of capital, I think.
Nikos, what about sports? I mean, obviously, the biggest concerns are the loss of human lives and livelihoods, but I think a lot of people are missing sports. MotoGP has been canceled. Tennis is canceled. Football, obviously, just getting back to start again in Germany. What can you do? What can private equity do in terms of taking advantage of the appetite that's developed for sports?
It's a very interesting sector, Matt, because a couple of ways that we look at investment opportunities at this moment, frankly, to build conviction, is to look at sectors that have been heavily disrupted by this crisis. And I think sports is one of them. It has a unique and valuable content. It has very diverse ownership structures. It has many stakeholders, from broadcasters to players. It has distribution platforms which are also going to be affected by this. So I think it's going to be a sector that you will see increasingly private equity having a look at. There already has been some rumors that some of our peers are looking at either investing in football leagues or in rugby leagues or even in specific clubs. So I think our industry will increasingly play a role in this sector, and the disruption of that sector will provide more opportunities. The other way we look at these is by looking at sectors who have demonstrated strong resilience, which is, as we discussed before, the telecom and media sector.